Welcome you all here tonight to Extraction Artisan Coffee. What an immense pleasure it is having you here, and what a great turnout. So thank you all for coming out tonight, we really appreciate it. I guess I'd like to introduce firstly, we've got some people here to speak about the Mini Farms project, to actually shed light on what the project's about and what it brings to community. There's a huge positive outcome we're expecting from this, and thank you for all being here and wanting to be involved. Firstly, we've got Stacy. She's from City Studio and she's the Logan Projects Coordinator. We also have Dr. Kimberly Reese. Kimberly is from Social and Environmental Planner at Griffith University. We also have Kiri Griffins, and she's the Deputy Principal of Excellence Curriculum and Pedagogy at Logan Lee State High School. And we also have Nick Steiner here. Could I ask those panel members to come up now?
Thank you, and welcome everybody. Thanks very much for coming along tonight to our Give to Grow event. But just to let you know that at this point in time with the sale of the tickets, we've been able to purchase an additional 4 beds for the event. So well done and thank you. Now just, I would like to acknowledge the First Nations people as the original inhabitants and custodians of the land on which we meet today, the lands of the Yugambeh and Yagara peoples. I acknowledge and pay deep respect to our elders, past, present and emerging, on behalf of those present today. I also acknowledge their wisdom and recognise their continuing connection to the land, waters and culture, and thank them for allowing me to live and work here in Logan.
Can you tell us a little about what City Studio does and who are the stakeholders in that?
Yep. So basically City Studio has a number of different stakeholders. So there's like a recipe for success, I guess, with that. We have the council staff, so they will identify particular problems or challenges that they'd like to work on, or that they might need some extra support, or they could have the benefit of student research and student participation, or even youth engagement as well. We connect in with either schools or universities or other educational institutions, and then we also identify a community steward or community partner that we work with. So this project here is a really perfect example of having each of those parties all involved with that same shared vision, and we're all working towards the same thing.
I might ask Kiri, what benefit will this project have for the school and the students?
Well, our vision at Logan Lee State High School is making a difference for every student, and we have 3 main focus areas. The first one being preparing students for a healthy life, both physically and mentally. So in that regard, what better way to prepare them for that healthy life by teaching them the skills to grow their own produce. And we all know, especially during COVID times, the research health benefits of actually planting and growing your own food. And so of course that will have those benefits for our students in creating healthy lives for them. Our second focus is around helping students nurture their outstanding character. And again, being a community project and partnering with not-for-profit organisations, we think there's no better way to help build that character in our students. And also preparing our students for life after Logan Lee is the third chapter of our vision. And again, providing our students with skills from the Mini Farms project, and also teaching them that they can make a really valuable contribution to their community, either through servicing the project as part of their curriculum or through volunteer work.
Can you just be a little bit more specific on what will the kids actually be doing in that program?
So depending on what curriculum areas they're in, so we offer a number of certificate courses in business, retail, and also the great work that I'll acknowledge of Jake Whittle. James is here tonight, Nat Wall as well, on the agribusiness team. So they will be working on the project right from the beginning of the journey. So organising and in the planning stages of the project, they will also assist with the construction and planting the crops, harvesting the crops, helping out with the sales and also the donations. And then we also have our hospitality department who will use the produce and the paddock to plate.
So it becomes quite an entrepreneurial project for the kids.
Absolutely.
It's a real life skill.
Yeah, and that's it. So teaching them those real life skills and connecting them to a genuine project that's meaningful to their community is really important to us at Logan Lee.
And it connects us all.
Absolutely.
Can I ask Kimberly? How did you come to start working with Stacy in the City Studio with this project?
I was interested as a social and environmental planner to create a learning experience for my university students learning about social and environmental planning on repurposing underutilised urban spaces for urban agriculture. You know, so that's a great learning experience for young university students to learn about reimagining what the urban environment could mean for us, that we don't just have to go along with the way that the urban environment has been planned by past generations, but make it relevant to us today, because they're going to be the decision makers into the future. So I met Paulette and she said, wow, have I got a project for you? And that's how it started.
And I'm guessing that's how you got involved with Nick and the Mini Farms
Well,
project.
we already met each other.
Oh,
We
right.
knew each other through the local food innovation scene. And when I got talking with Paulette about the possibilities, I said, I think Nick might be the perfect candidate for this, because I knew what you were already doing with the Mini Farm project. And it just took off from there.
Well, on that note, could you tell us a little bit more about food security and the issues we are facing in our communities and region at this very moment?
Yeah. So this term food security is very contentious, and would have the big decision makers in government and industry telling us, well, we're the specialists, we know what's best for you. You just sit back and let us take fair care of the food supply chain and keep going to the supermarket like good little consumers. Well, I think that's fine, and I think that's a business as usual model is okay, but what happens when it breaks down? What happens when we have severe weather events that interrupt those supplies? Where we have the need for social distancing so that we are not able to go to the supermarkets. Local businesses break down. So these are really important issues, and taking a community planning approach and somebody who works with disaster risk management, we take very seriously this notion of shared responsibility. This means we all have a part to play, and it's about empowering people in their communities and in their groups to do what they know works best for them. Yeah? And let's remove any roadblocks to you guys innovating. Let's help you do it. Let's let you know that you have permission to do this, and we will help you. So food security moving forward, for me, as a social environmental planner, is about empowering you guys to do what you do best. It's not about relying on the supply chains.
Can I just go back to Stacy for the moment? What do you feel are going to be the larger community outcomes from this project?
Well, one of the things that we're really hoping that we'll be able to achieve with this, and I think that we're already on the way to that, is that we're really showcasing what Logan can do. And Logan is, Logan has some unique problems, but these problems are also relevant in other areas of the world as well. And we're City Studio is part of a global network, so we've got that sort of global platform, I guess, to share this information. And I had a meeting with some of those people this morning, and they're really excited about this, and they think that this is a great innovation, and it's really a great opportunity for us to show that Logan's taking care of their own, and we're really stepping it up to support our local community.
I'd like to say, as a business person, I see here in the City of Logan, we've got so much underutilised assets that could actually be bearing fruit, quite literally, for the public at large. It's forums like this and people like these that are actually going to innovate and give us the opportunity to take advantage of those assets. I know when I moved into this space, it was not the area people would want to find a coffee shop. But now we've got a bike path at the back, we've got green space, we've got a different feel to the area. It takes one of us to do one small thing to change things. Yep. Now I'm going to come to the bloke who actually came up with the idea, which is Nick. And I'm assuming it wasn't all you, or was it Nick?
It was, actually.
I know I'm going to ask a question which you have no problem answering. Tell us about the Mini Farms project, Nick.
All right, so I'll give you the elevator spiel. The Mini Farm Project is a registered charity who's designed to resolve food insecurity in Queensland by creating a network of charity farms to grow food for those in need. And the food that we grow will be given freely to local charities with kitchens to actually prepare the meals to actually give to the people in need on a regional level. And the reason why we're going for a network, as we've experienced at the beginning part of this year with the first 6 months, our charity farm that we have in Sanford was actually flooded and was basically turned off for about 4 weeks. So that was an excellent example of our strategy where we have a network of farms Our vision is to have over 100 farms in the next 5 years from Brisbane to Cairns, and we're working to resolve food in communities where it's needed the most. So when I first met Paulette, she said that the Logan region had over 47,000 people who required daily food assistance. And I said, okay, well, I can't do much with half an acre. How about we roll out a whole food security plan and actually have 10 to 15 farms in Logan, and we actually nut that number down. I think that number has been over 14 months. I think that number is well over into the 60s now, as well as the food bank numbers, which is 1 in 6 Australians is going hungry or food insecure every day. And last year in 2021, 1.2 million Australian children went hungry. So I had this idea in the shower about in 2010. Yeah, sorry. Some of my best ideas come from there. And I wanted to actually, because I'm in hospitality, I was a hospitality lifer, and I saw charity functions. This is when Oz Harvest started, and I noticed that all the charities were using the packet stuff and the canned stuff, and I was really studying the health process, and I was like, they're just giving them gut putty. There's no nutrients in there whatsoever. And I think it's important, as someone who has an ability to help others who are in need, we need to give the people who are in need nutrient-dense food, because they're in a survival state of mindset. Us walking around doing normal things, we're not really in a survival state, but we're also nutrient deficient because of the way that we've been farming and all the stuff over the last several decades. So if we're nutrient deficient, they're more so nutrient deficient. If we're going to solve the problem of food security or solve the problem of stopping people in this country going hungry, we need to make sure that we're filling them with nutrients, so we back them up again with ability to actually make cognitive choices for themselves and get out of the situations that they're in. I'm not here to have a charity like these other big charities for 54 years and making a business out of it. I actually want to resolve a problem. My future idea is actually the mini farm one day will be liquidated, so all the farms will go to young farmers, and we've solved the problem. That's my ultimate vision of this, because charities at the end of the day are meant to solve a problem, not become a business. That's a big personal thing for me. So there's a sort of point in your life where you go, let's give back to community. How do you do it? This is my sort of expression of supporting others who are in need.
Can I ask you, when you talk about charity, it's almost like we're going out of our way to help someone else, right? But I think what the project does, it actually connects us with community. It makes us all socially aware of what goes on in our community. And the idea is, once you've funded it, it becomes self-perpetuating, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. So the idea is, it's legally a registered charity, and we did charity because we get the DGR status. We've also got the PBI, Public Benevolent Institution, with the ATO, so we pay no income tax. I don't think we should be paying any tax at all, because we're putting everything back into the community, and that's where the money should actually be going. And that's the reason why we did the charity concept. Plus also the word charity opens doors and opens networks a lot easier than me doing like a business, because no one would really care too much. What fundamental point that we do with our charities, that because I want to do things differently. In most cases, a charity is like a brick wall or a sterile website. You hand over your money, and then maybe they'll do something, and you don't really know what's happening at the back end. What I want to do is involve the community in our farms in each area that we are. So instead of just growing a carrot or a potato for those in need, we're actually building a network around our farms. We're involving the students in our particular farms that we have. We've got a program in our Sanford site with our USC. They're doing a 3-month education program, study and research about living with dementia. So we're going to have people who are living with dementia come to our farm with their carers, and the USC students will actually be doing a research project that they got a grant for, and that'll actually be documented. We get the statistics for that. This is the kind of thing that builds community, by having our space being involved as a node, and then having businesses who are contributing and sponsoring beds, having students come on site, having elderly come on site, breaking the cycle of loneliness for them. And also in the future, when we can have larger, more farms, we want to employ return service people to actually work on our farms, to actually have rehabilitation and employment programs as well, because they're task-orientated, our farms are task-orientated, our farmers are out in peaceful spaces, they need that for their PTSD as well. So it's about involving every aspect of a particular community, as opposed to having a McDonald's cookie cutter farm in every area just growing food and going, there you go, shut up, I don't want to talk to you. It's about involving everybody in the process, like Kimberly was saying.
I just want to put something out there for everyone here. Can I just see a show of hands? How many people donate to a charity of some description on a regular basis? How many of you know how much of that money goes to the actual purpose you're donating it for? Right. Percentages?
100%.
For your particular charity? If I said to you Model-Regenerative Union, which is a registered charity, RSL raises money for surf lifesaving. I've been buying those tickets for 25 years, and I can tell you, I don't do it for charity. I do it because I want to win $1 million home. Yeah. But the irony is, the money they raise, most charities, and there are exceptions, most charities, majority of what they raise goes to actually run the institution that runs that charity, and very little actually gets to the people who need it. The beauty of a project like this, and this is why we're so passionate, is that 100% of what we raise tonight goes to the purpose it was meant for. Yeah? At some point, people need to be paid too. People can't work for nothing. But that's down the road. If every individual does one small act, and I believe, I'll get you to talk about the coffee thing, because that to me has a big impact without anybody hurting their lives in any way whatsoever. But if we all did one small gesture that we knew that money was going to go directly to the purpose we wanted to go to, would we do it? Yeah. Of course we would. And this is an opportunity to step into that area. Can you tell us about one of the projects?
Just to touch on that, I come from hospitality, so I'm not a charity person, and I move around the charity space, and everyone's all lovely, and they have lots of money to flush around. I've given to charity when I was younger to Greenpeace and that, and I've seen them just squander it. I don't give to anybody anymore because I don't know where it's going. I want to do charity differently, so I'm turning our charity upside down with how we operate. So how we operate is we're going to have a network of farms that are self-managed by a full-time farmer and staff on each site that make the food happen, and then that they can be controlled by a central admin team who are all remote. So we're not going to have any buildings, there's no furniture, there's no wasting money. We see some CEOs have $1 million painting behind them and lovely carpet and a Lambo and blow and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's what makes it so.
So it's not all charities, but a lot of charities waste a lot in their admin, and I don't want to do that. So yes, we will have admin, but the idea is that we have remote staff workers who are specialized in certain areas. We make all the processes as efficient as possible, and then the staff do a 4-day week, and then they come to a farm after that. So they work from home, there's no buildings. The farmers actually get paid from the sales or the sponsorship of the beds. So each of the farms that we have, we release a series of beds that we ask the community to come and sponsor, and we provide a year worth of client touch management program where each business has content every month, every 2 months a newsletter, and they can say to the community going, there's a problem in the community, we're doing something about it, here's the post, it's actually happening, we're not mucking around, and we have an entire year touch program. So instead of me going to Alex and go, give me some money and I'll see you in a year, and he gets nothing for it, he's getting an entire year worth of information that he can pass to his customers, and everyone can feel good about that. And at the end of the day, everyone coming to shop here is actually directly growing food for those in need because they're supporting Alex, who's donating a bed. And that's the kind of idea that we're trying to build in as well. So all the money that we're trying to get in donations and sales is actually to fund a new farm. My goal is to have 100 farms. The money has to go into a farm, not into my wooden desk or my lovely accessories and the carpet and stuff like that. So that's where everything's going, just to touch on that.
Through learned experience already, because you've done this already at Sanford and it's been running quite successfully now, you really need to raise money for all 66 beds before you start.
Yes.
Yeah? Because you've learned that if you get half the money, you only get halfway there.
We started, so Sanford is at Millen Farm. There's a community organisation that we lease land from. It's half an acre. We partnered with Meals on Wheels. They get free food every week since December 2020. Which is really great because Meals on Wheels don't get the state government subsidy that all the other states get. So I think we can do better. They get free food and they'll be attached to every single farm moving forward. They helped us raise $30,000 in 2 weeks to fund that farm. It was a turnkey farm because it was already established. They turned it off because of the drought back in 18-19. We moved in and I got a full-time farmer, And we just went. And then I was like, oh shit, now I've got to pay this guy for another 6 months. So what do we do? So I was scrambling around for grants. What happens if we underfund the farm is I'm robbing Peter, Paul, John, Mary, Sue, Frank to give back to Peter, and it becomes a circle, and then it drags into the entire organization. So moving forward, every farm has to be completely 100% fully funded before we start. And we bank in 6 months worth of pay for a farmer because the farm has to be developed. There's a 4-week cycle before the first crops come, and then it comes out like that. So there's a rolling around. And most charities only run 3-month cash flow cycles, and they have all these staff to pay, and they've got to find money through donations. And everyone knows now that it's pretty tight, and the money pool pie for donations is getting smaller. Philanthropy is down 20 to 30%. So everyone's scrambling for donations and grant applications. So that's why we sell some of our produce. And coming back to your question is, we have a program where businesses can sponsor a bed, which is going to be really great. So if you know any businesses, please pass this information on so we can get some businesses to sponsor the beds. But a really unique, another shower idea I had is, that's why I'm working from home, the best place to think. It's going to be a shout made of coffee. So the idea is, if you shout us the value of a coffee once a month, $3.70, so it's a mini macchiato, because you can't get the coffee for $3.70. The idea is it's a numbers game. So if we can attract 100,000 Queenslanders, that gives us $370,000 a month that we can imprint a new farm every single month. So the idea is shout made a coffee, fund a farm a month, grow food for those in need. So that means we have money for a team to actually design and create all these and get an established team going. And then we actually build the farm. So the money actually goes directly to that. Every single individual who's part of that is actually personally responsible for creating a new farm to grow food for a particular charity in a particular region. So down here in the Logan region, it'd be all going to Oz Harvest, Meals on Wheels, the other charities that are in here as well, and their names will be associated to that farm. And in the future, when we get around to the tech part of it, everyone will get an NFT as a digital asset that they can actually have as an evidence point that they've actually created this particular farm, that one, and that one. So we've actually got the Logan farm, an acre in Wamuran, 3 acres at Coolum. I've got another 25 acres waiting in Wamuran, another 5-acre site in Wamuran. So we can actually fund all of those next year if we get enough people on board to actually just shout us a coffee once a month. And $3.70 for most people isn't that much because most of them piss it up on a weekend anyway, or they spend it on...
Politically
incorrect. Mike, forgive me. Or they have extra cookies, or I waste money on takeout, and $3.70 is not going to be that much once a month to do that. So we thought that's a good, healthy number that we can attract individuals who can't give a lot, but they can give a small amount, actually have an ownership stake or a part of something tangible that they can see, they can visit and go, look, this is what I did.
Good. Is there anybody out there who has questions for the guys while they're here? Don't be shy.
What actually kept you going? Was it just because of your vision and it was just something so simple, but we have all this bureaucratic rubbish that you've got to get through.
Great question.
So what kept you going?
Spite. No, I've really got a burning desire for this. I'm a dog on a bone with this now. This is my passion project. There's a certain point in your life where you wake up out of the dream of being a 9-to-5 worker and you go, what the hell am I doing with my life? And if you're in a position of ability, you have the responsibility to help others. That's my personal philosophy. So I actually really want to live in a country where we actually don't have kids going to school hungry. That actually really hurts my soul. And I grew up in the 80s and there was, everyone's lucky. And I knew there was homelessness and there's stuff there, but it's not as bad as it is now. And I remember we did the World Vision stuff, sponsor an African kid, rah, rah, rah. Now I see signs on the Story Bridge, sponsor an Australian kid. It's like, what's happened in 40 years? It's gone mental. And for me, I can't understand why we are allegedly a first world nation that has 1/6 of its population going hungry every single day, including children. That's just, it's not right. And I can't do that. So that drives me. That's really the fuel for everything I do. And because I'm hospitality based, we do a lot of things on a snip of an oil rag. So that's how we set up Stanford as a showcase. Obviously we can't do that for too long, but that's how we do it. But my drive is I've ruffled some feathers in the charity community because I just come in the biggest into this. So everyone's a bit too polite.
I just want to add something to what you said there about the rising instance of food disadvantage in wealthy nations, and this is a part of my research, and this is a global phenomenon. We're seeing this across the planet, and what we're seeing are communities innovating, and that's the solution. We're not waiting for the decision makers who have in large shaped the food problems that we face to solve those problems. It's about reimagining what we want for ourselves and getting organised. That's how it's happening across the wealthy nations.
So this isn't just about growing food and feeding hungry people, it's about growing community and making community aware that each of us has a role to play.
Yeah, exactly.
In that space, yeah. If there's nothing else for you guys, if anyone has anything else to say, Kiri?
I would just like to thank Nick, Kimberly and Stacy for involving Logan Lee in this project, and something that you might not be aware of is a number of our families actually meet the criteria of being food insecure. So this is a project that not only gives back to the wider community, but will actually service our own community at Logan Lee. So thank you.
Firstly, let me thank all of you for coming here tonight, because as Nick said, we've sponsored virtually 4 beds, correct?
4 beds from tonight. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. So that makes we're 25 in total now.
25, so almost halfway. We've got another 5 or 8 to go, and we're halfway. Yeah. I know there are other businesses here tonight, and again, we've all struggled through COVID. We've all done it tough. Business does not get easier for us. But I'll put it out there: if there's any business tonight that would actually love to sponsor a bed, I'd really love to see you throw your hand up and come and have a chat to Nick and get that organised, because it puts us one step closer to that goal.
How much is a bed?
$970.
Okay.
The idea of that is, once you sponsor this bed and we get this up and running, it's self-perpetuating. You don't have to pay $970 every year to keep this flowing. It'd be nice if you did, because we can get more farms happening and grow the farms.
The idea is the more, if we have a good sponsorship base every year, you're growing food for those in need to tell your customers that the more sponsorship we get, the more food we can grow for free to people. If we don't get the sponsorship, we have to sell a portion of it as well. So the idea is to get the community to rally around the farm to fund it every year, and then we can give free food away all the time.
And to add to that, from Griffith's perspective, Griffith has your back on this, and so we have a civic responsibility at Griffith University, and it's about the university helping to lead the way in enabling you guys to do what you need to do, right? So that's part of our corporate social responsibility. So we're in the journey with you on this in the long term.
So thank you guys. Thank you for all you've shared with us, and feel free to throw your money at this man.
Hang on, there's one thing I'd like to just finish off on. I'd just like to thank you all for coming on the behalf of the Me Farm Project. I really appreciate your support. Having this amount of community support backing up a charity is just amazing. It helps us continue to do our work. Not a lot of charities do get support. We have a greater amount, I was telling Stacy earlier today, that we're getting a lot more support here in the Logan region than we are in the Stanford region. It's just a different area, and I really, really appreciate that. I do have some thank you gifts before we start the auction. We've got some produce boxes that we're auctioning off as well, but I'd just like the staff to come out. They've donated their time tonight. Come out in front of everybody. I've got a box of produce for you. You've spent your time here. I really appreciate it. This is a box of produce that we grow from the Me Farm Project. Just a little token of thank you. I really appreciate the fact that you've come and done this all on your own time and not getting paid for it. So this is freshly harvested. And that's for you. Thank you so much. And then I've also got one box each for our lovely guest speakers. Thank you for your time as well. I appreciate that tonight. I'll give it to you very shortly. We are over the auction.
I'll just get you to hold it. Now, I'll just ask Jake, this 50, I reckon it's actually more than that, if I'm honest.
How old was
the animal? How old is the
So
animal?
the cow, that's beef. You've got a mixture of beef, crummy steaks. I think there's a rump roast, there's a mince, and there's some rib steaks, rump steaks in there. The cow is Santa Gertrudis Cross, grain finished for 162 days. The butcher's report said it's very nice. I personally had a steak last night and it's spot on, but that's me. So yeah, it's valued around 50 to 70, but it's up to you what you want to pay.
Cool. Well, I'm going to bid 100 on the first one. We've got 2 of these to auction. So, what's your bid? 125. 125. Do we hear a call on that? 125. I'll go 150. 200. 200. Remember, we've got 2 of these, so don't feel like you're going to miss out. 200. Do I have a rise on 200? 220. 220. 220. 250. 250 up the back. There's a man who loves his meat. 250. 250. Do I have a rise on 250? 250. Going once. Up the back. Guy. 300. $300. Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. If we can crack 900 something dollars, we'll actually pay for another bed. Not with one tray. I'm not saying we should pay 900, but we've got another tray to auction off as well. Yep. So 300. Is there a rise on 300? 300. 300. 300 going once. 300 going twice. 320. 320. I love a lady who loves a fight. Excellent work. $320. Back to you, Guy. Do you feel threatened? Is your manhood being threatened right now? 320. I reckon you could go 350 and you'd still be fine. 350 for Guy. 350 for Guy. Going once. Going twice. Third and final call. Guy, you've bought yourself a $350 meat tray. All right, we've got one more to sell, exactly the same. Can I have bids? I'm going to bid 200 for this one because I figure, well, it's where we should start. We've got to get to where we need to go quicker, aren't we? So, anybody making a rise on 200? 200 once? 320? Excellent. $320. If you want this meat tray, you've got to really work hard for this. $320. $320, ladies and gentlemen. Do I have a rise on 320? I'll go 340. What? Did I just say something? Because I can't afford 350. Who said 350? You are the girl. 350 going once. If I make another bid, are you going to challenge me? 350 going once. 360. And it wasn't me. $360 from Kimberly. This woman is serious about making things happen. That's all I can say. She's very serious. So $360. $360, ladies and gentlemen. $360 going once to Kimberly. 400. Beautiful. 400. Can I have your name, madam? Can I have your name? Melissa. Melissa and Kimberly. Oh, this could turn into a cat fight. Oh, I didn't know we were going to see that tonight, but I'm hoping. All right, $400 to Melissa, which is astounding. Thank you, Melissa. We really appreciate that. Good on you. You're going to eat these steaks so slowly. You are going to want to enjoy them. Yep. So $400. $400 going once. 410. She does not want you to eat this steak. Thank you, Kimberly. $410. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm blown away. This is fabulous. $410 going once. 450. $500. Yes! And I think we're just about at another bed with that, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, which is fabulous. So 500. Hey, we haven't finished. Don't applaud yet. We've not sold it yet. $500. $500 going once to Melissa. Kimberly. $500 going twice to Melissa. Kimberly. Third and final call. Kimberly. Sold to Melissa. Thank you. Can I get the individuals that bid on this to step up here? We'd like some photos. Correct?